What's up, everybody, and welcome once again to The Flex, brought to you by Gym Bag Entertainment. And as always, I'm your host, Craig, here for the Fantasy Football Talk of the Week. This was an interesting week in fantasy, a lot of ups and a lot of downs. But in my main league, I always like to give you guys the leading scorer of the week, as well as whether or not I won or lost in the score and who I went against. So this particular week, the leading scorer, Pennywise, going up against Icon Menace. Pennywise put up 161.32 to 123.86. So congratulations, Pennywise. You are the leader of the week. And actually, to be honest with you, I came in second place for leading point scorer. My team, DJ Kittle, going up against Beantown Bananas, 155.42 to 129.94. And let me express some. I know my fantasy fans will understand this one with my frustration with my boy Patrick Mahomes. And not that Patrick Mahomes isn't doing good. Patrick Mahomes is doing great. But my problem with him is in the first half, he's just banging out points. And in the second half, he's doing single digits. I mean, last week, 27 points in the first half, second half 6. This week, 30 points in the first half, and then like 9 in the second. It's like, come on, bro. Let's bang up the points. You're going to put 30 in the first. Let's at least get 15, 20 in the second. You know, I could have had first place this week if, you know, Patrick Mahomes would have continued on. David Johnson kind of hurt me a little bit. You know, didn't really get anything going. Got one touchdown at the end of the game. That kind of helped me out. And but you know, all in all, it was a good week. I made a fabulous trade. I traded away Kerryon Johnson for Chris Godwin in week 1, and that panned out big time for me. Godwin put up 26 points. The guy I was playing on Thursday actually had Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore, and they combined for only 25 points. So I was feeling really good after the first game. Things were looking real bright and shiny. I had one huge disappointment. In my second league, the Elite League, I had a fabulous team that was just banging out points. I mean, I'm just going to pull it up for you real quick. And that team is actually called Ice Ice Baby. And I lost 140 to 143, right? And let me pull up the matchup real quick. I just want you to understand my frustration. You know what I'm saying? So I got Antonio Brown put up a 20-piece, T.Y. Hilton 16. Alvin Kamara really kind of pooped the bed for me, but at least he put up points. He got 9. Mark Andrews came in strong, 31 points. Tyler Boyd, 28 points. Fairbairn, 7. Los Angeles Rams defense put up 13. My team was strong. I was killing it. But I had Drew Brees as my quarterback. Goes out after putting up a half a point. Half a point. I lose by 3.3 points. If Drew Brees puts up 4 points, I win. 4 points before he gets injured and I win. Half a point and I lose. I lose to my co-host, AC. Catch me in the end zone. Put up 143.32 points. Huge disappointment to me in that league. I went back-to-back losses with an epic team. Like, my team is so crazy. And actually, I actually made a nice little trade right before I came into the show today. I gave up Tyler Boyd and Sony Michel because my wide receiver core is pretty stacked. I have AB. I also have T.Y. Hilton. And on my bench, I have Tyrell Williams, as well as Corey Davis, which isn't that great, but I got Corey Davis. So actually, no, I traded away Corey Davis to get Cam Newton. But I had Tyler Boyd as well. So I traded Tyler Boyd, and I actually made another trade for Calvin Ridley to get Sony Michel. I took Tyler Boyd, Sony Michel, packaged it up, took away Julio Jones. So I've really boosted up my wide receiver core. Hopefully that, you know, I got Julio Jones now, put T.Y. in the flex. I got a strong running back core. Joe Mixon, just waiting for him to get 100%. And I have a strong running back core as well. But my team's looking real good. Team's looking real good. I'm excited to see what happens next week. I think I'll come away with a victory. So with that being said, it's time for the bust of this upcoming week. Guys that are not going to do well, people you might want to drop or just not be playing. Le'Veon Bell and the New York Jets. They're playing the Patriots this week, and their quarterback is Chris Falk or something like that. He's a nobody. You don't even know his name. You don't know who he is. He ain't gonna do nothing. Patriots defense is on fire. There's like no holes in this defense. And you're running with your third string quarterback. Le'Veon Bell is the only shining light of this offense, and I think that they're going to stack the box on him because if they can't run the ball, the passing game is pretty much null and void. Robbie Anderson is going to be trailed by Gilmore all night, and then they're gonna put a man on Crowder. Crowder is not that amazing. He had one good week in week 1 because no one knew what to expect from him, and after that he went right down the pisser last week. Not expecting anything from Jets players, period. Not even their defense. Play nothing from the Jets. You might have no choice but to play Bell, but if you have an option, I might bench Bell this week because I do not imagine him. One is he's not going to score a touchdown. 2, I don't believe he breaks 100 yards. So with that being said, if you have an option to put somebody in besides Bell, you should take that option. Christian McCaffrey had a terrible week last week. They're going up against Arizona. Cam Newton might not play. If Cam Newton plays, he's going to be ailed by his foot injury. I think this is really taking a toll on Christian McCaffrey's ability to move the ball. I'm a little leery of Christian McCaffrey. Once again, he was a top 5 pick, so most likely you have to play him. But if you were able to snag 2 high-level running backs, a top 10, 15 running back and a top 20 running back, you might want to consider throwing those 2 guys in this week. I had someone in my league who had David Johnson, and they benched him and put in Breda, and that worked out handily for them. Breda put up 20. David Johnson put up 9, so that's a no-brainer. That was a good decision. David Johnson going up against the Carolina Panthers. He's struggling right now. If you have an option, once again, you might have to play him like me. In my league, I have to play him. But if you don't have to play him, it might be good to try to find someone else. The Saints offense is looking hurt. Drew Brees is going to be out for probably 6 to 8 weeks. So for the next 6 to 8 weeks, it's going to be a struggle. Mike Thomas, Alvin Kamara, those are guys that you probably just have to play. I have Alvin Kamara. I know I'm not benching him. Alvin Kamara might have better opportunities than Michael Thomas will, but it's still going to be a rough road. Teddy Bridgewater, we don't know what he can do. He's, looking right in the direction where he's going to throw the ball immediately. So I don't know how it's going to look. I think that Sean Payton can get him up to speed and get him going. But the first week starting, I'm a little leery of it. So most likely you got to start those 2 guys. But Jared Cook, might want to put him on the bench. If you, for whatever reason, are in a deep league and you have Taquan Smith, might want to put him on the bench. Definitely bench that New Orleans Saints defense because if they go a lot of 3 and outs, that defense is going to get tired. So I would be worried about that. The Redskins have a tough matchup. They are going up against, who are they going up against? I know they got a tough matchup this week. I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna go to the Raiders. Raiders also have a really tough matchup. So Josh Jacobs and Tyrell Williams, those are the 2 shining lights on that team. I would probably avoid starting those guys. Let's see who they got. The Raiders are going up against the Vikings. Vikings have been the second toughest defense next to the Patriots this year, and the Baltimore Ravens. They're right up there in teams that are not allowing other teams to do well. So I would be worried. And the Redskins are playing the Bears. Case Keenum is going to be getting dropped all night long because Trent Williams is not playing. You know what I'm saying? That offensive lineman, their best offensive lineman, has not played, I don't believe, all year, these last 2 weeks. So the Bears, Khalil Mack, that entire Bears D-line is just most dangerous in the NFL. Very scary. So I don't believe the Skins are going to have a good game. I wouldn't play anybody from them. And like I said, the Raiders are playing the Vikings. And the Dolphins. Oh, the Dolphins have a tough matchup. Who are they going up against? I mean, every matchup for the Dolphins is going to be tough this year. But why am I not seeing? Oh, they're going up against the Cowboys. Defensively, not as scary as you would think, but offensively, the Cowboys are just going to blow these dudes out. But they do have a strong defense, and the Dolphins have just been getting pooped on by everybody. I think they put up a total of 13 points in 2 games. So if you have Kenyon Drake, I'd bench him. Devontae Parker, bench him. If you're in a deeper league and you have Preston Williams, I said pick him up. This is not the week to play him. Titans are going up against the Jaguars. I believe this to be a low-scoring game. Jalen Ramsey is looking for a trade, so I think he's going to go hard to showcase his skills and do the best he can do. So he's going to shut down. He's probably going to shut down either Corey Davis or A.J. Brown. And I just think this is going to be a defensive matchup. So you might want to consider playing the defenses of these two teams, but I'd stay away from the offenses. On to the waiver wire. Some people you might want to pick up. It's Wednesday now, so hopefully you have some guys who have been slacking. But Green Bay defense looking real good. They've had 2 back-to-back good weeks. Andy Dalton has been shining. And if you have Cam Newton or Drew Brees, if you had Nick Foles, which you shouldn't have, or Ben Roethlisberger, it's time to pick up a new QB, whether it's a backup or a backup to your already previous backup. Andy Dalton is looking real good. The kicker from the Carolina Panthers, Sly, is on fire. He's just making every field goal over and over again. And that also goes for the Cleveland Browns kicker. I don't have his name on me right now, but both those kickers, first-year kickers, are looking exceptionally good, prime for pickup, especially if you have like one of the lower-end kickers. And kickers are a dime a dozen, but if your kicker is doing crap, and you want to swap them out, Sly from the Panthers or the kicker from the Browns are looking like good options. So a deep sleeper this week on the waiver, not a sleeper, a deep waiver wire pick, a guy that could really help out your team if all the backup quarterbacks are gone, and you want to have someone on the bench who could grow into his position. I gotta say, I'm really liking Mason Rudolph. He looked okay when he stepped in for Big Ben. Now he's going to be the starter, and that to me seems promising. I don't know if it's the best decision. I don't know how well he's going to do, but it might be worth it if you have, if you're in a deep league and you want to just grab him to stash him away and see how he does. You never know. He could really surprise you. They got a really good run game. They got a great offensive line. Their receiving core is a little suspect, but Juju and Vance McDonald are awesome. When it comes to James Washington, he's so-so, and Dante Moncrief is absolutely garbage. So I don't know how it's going to work out, but I do like him if you're in a deeper league and you can stash him away. The highlight reel of the weekend is DeMarcus Robinson. This guy, as soon as he scored his first touchdown, I snatched him up, and then everything after that was just magical. Patrick Mahomes was looking his way a lot, especially when the play started to break down. I really like this kid. He's looking like he's it was supposed to be Hardman that replaced Tyreek Hill, but DeMarcus Robinson is stepping into that role, and he's doing damage out there. He's having his way with he had his way with the Raiders backfield. So I would definitely take a chance on him. Put him on the bench this week, or if your wide receiver core is slump, or if you have a layup, throw him in and just see what he does. But I put him on the bench for right now. I want to see him have some consistency and maybe use him as a bargaining chip. Raheem Mostert. I never know how to say his name. I'm going to say it's Mostert, the backup running back for San Fran. It looks like San Fran is having a strong running back by committee. Breda and Mostert are just killing it. They both broke 20 points. Mostert had at least 2 touchdowns. He was just going off. I snatched him up real quick. You should do the same if he's still there. DJ Chark, 2 touchdowns in 2 games, looking like he could be taking that D.D. Westbrook position, looking like he is going to be Minshew's favorite target right now. I don't know, but he's definitely a great waiver wire pickup. I suggest you attack that. The biggest surprise for me on this list is the Tampa Bay defense. Tampa Bay, what they did to Carolina was just ridiculous. I think they had 2 picks. They were dropping Cam Newton all day. Yeah, they let up some touchdowns, but all the defensive plays that they made more than made up for that. I know that they had at least 13 points last week. I know I know they're in the 20s over this past 2 weeks. So defenses have been really slacking this year, so Tampa Bay could be the surprise defense of the year. They got Todd Bowles over there who turned around this Jets defense, and he is doing the same thing over in Tampa Bay. This is a defense to be a little leery of, especially if you're not a high-level team. And this year, there's not a lot of high-level teams, so I'd be worried about facing Tampa Bay defensively. Another quarterback to look at, Josh Allen. He's got some tough matchups coming up, but later on in the season, he could be the backup that you need on a bye week. So he could be worth a stash away. Marquise Goodwin, he showed up last week. He was looking real good. I don't have the stats on him right now, but I know that he put up numbers last week. So he could be worth a stash away. The San Francisco 49ers, when it comes to wide receivers, they seem to be just throwing the ball around. Kittle hasn't really gotten started. He's broken double digits. I think he broke double digits last week. I don't know. I don't think he did it last week. I have him on 2 of my teams. I don't remember him breaking double digits. I will look into that in just a second, see if he did break double digits 2 weeks ago. Let's see what we got here. Week 1, bang it out. Yeah, so he's broken double digits 2 weeks in a row. Oh wait, is it 2 weeks in a row? Maybe it was last week he had a crappy week. Oh no, he did not break double digits this past week. Yeah, so he actually screwed me over a little bit in my other league that I have him in, but not my main league. So yeah. It's really getting spread around right now. Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't figured out who his favorite target is. Even we all know it should be George Kittle, baby Gronk. And anyway, moving on to the sleepers of the week. Guys that you should have on your team that should have excellent performances this week. And let me just pull up the ESPN so I can see the matchups and give you the reason why I think they're going to do well. First off is Randall Cobb. They're going up against the Miami Dolphins, and anytime someone's going up against the Miami Dolphins, you're going to run over them. They're a terrible, terrible team. But moreover, Michael Gallup is out. How many weeks he's going to miss, I don't know, but it's definitely going to be multiple weeks. So this guy, Randall Cobb, becomes number 2, steps right into that role. He's gonna be extremely dangerous in the slot. And then the Bills are going up against the Giants. I don't really like that defense. John Brown, put him in your flex. I think he could have a possibility of going off, maybe snags up 2 touchdowns. And along with that, Devin Singletary, the rookie running back, he's been looking pretty good. He's got double digits in both weeks, and I'm hoping that he could build on that. I have him in a league. I need him to build on that performance. So let's hope that he does do that. The 49ers are facing the Bengals, whose defense is not scary at all. So once again, look for Marquise Goodwin to repeat his business. Hopefully have a decent week. Then we have the Green Bay Packers are going up against the Vikings. Now, I told you this is a strong defense, one of the toughest defenses this year. They're going up against the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers also have had an extremely tough defense this year. Why am I telling you all this? That's because you got Devontae Parker. He's the number one. It seems like Geronimo Allison is the number two. That's leaving Marquise Valdez-Scantling. I think that Marquise Valdez-Scantling is going to be the open man. I think he's going to get a lot of touches this year. Well, maybe this year, but at least this week. I think he's going to be the guy who's going to be getting open. If Aaron Rodgers get the ball off, I'm expecting it to go to Marquise Valdez-Scantling. So we'll see what happens with that. In the same aspect, you got the Chargers going up against the Lions. So Kenny Golladay is going to get that hardcore coverage. Danny Amendola, you got to worry about him, but I think that he's going to be coming across the middle. I think Marvin Jones has a big week this week. He had some good grabs this past week. I expect him to build on that. Going up against a tough Chargers defense, when they can't get the ball rolling on the ground, they're going to look to the air, and I think Marvin Jones is going to be the guy who takes advantage of that. Atlanta Falcons are facing the Philadelphia Eagles, whose defense it's okay. It's not great. One of the teams I think that might be in line to try and grab Jalen Ramsey via trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but they don't have him yet. I say that to say this. I think that Austin Hooper is the tight end to have this week. If you have Austin Hooper, I have this feeling that against the Eagles, Austin Hooper might go off. Especially if you got the DraftKings situation going on, Austin Hooper might be a guy to plug in for you, and he might score a couple touchdowns. Once again, I also want to go back to that Dallas-Miami game. If you're in need of a tight end, Jason Witten, the veteran, is looking pretty good out there. He is not afraid to go across and get it in the end zone. I think he might have 3 touchdowns this season so far in 2 games, but he is looking good. He has become a target in the red zone. I would definitely snatch him up, and this is the week to play him. If you have the likes of, say, O.J. Howard or David Njoku, this might be a guy that would be worth picking up and plugging in this week. Then I have Kenny Stills. The Texans are going up. Oh, wait, maybe I was saying the wrong teams. I might have said the wrong teams a couple times. But the Falcons are going up against the Colts. That's why I liked Austin Hooper. And Green Bay is actually going up against the Broncos. Something switched up here. Wait a minute. I might have messed some things up. I'm still going with the guys I said, but I might have picked some wrong teams there for you. But the Texans are actually going against the Chargers, and that's why I like Kenny Stills. For the same reason I liked Marvin Jones, that's why I like Kenny Stills. And the same thing, Lions are actually facing the Eagles, and that's why I like Marvin Jones going up against the Eagles. I think that's a good matchup. Miller from the Bears. The Bears are facing the Redskins, and the Redskins they have a pretty decent defense. I think that Miller will take advantage of that and get his touches. Vance McDonald's from the Steelers. They're going up against the 49ers. 49ers defenses look tough, and that's why I think Vance McDonald as the tight end will build on his performance last week, as well as Cameron Brate. Who's Tampa Bay facing? Tampa Bay is facing the Giants' weak defense. I think that Cameron Brate is the tight end to look for. O.J. Howard has not been doing much. I think Cameron Brate might come in and take advantage. Cooper Kupp going up against the Rams. They're going to be looking at Robert Woods. They're going to be looking to stop Brandon Cooks. I think Cooper Kupp takes advantage of that. And I just want to make some corrections. I said the Packers, and the Packers are, I said, actually facing, who are the Packers facing? Where are you? Where'd you go? Oh, the Broncos. So they got a tough defensive line. They're going to have to get the ball out quick. Marquise Valdez-Scantling, I think, is the guy who takes advantage because they're going to have Chris Harris on Devontae Adams all night, and that is not good. Chris Harris is amazing, and he's going to shut stuff down. And the Bills are facing the Bengals, which is why I like John Brown. That's a weak defense. I think they picked that apart really well. So don't be afraid to put John Brown in, as well as Devin Singletary going up against a weak defense. All right, well, that's all I have for you today. Sorry for the mishap in my sleepers. I hope the guys I picked are guys that are sleepers this week and have good matchups. So make sure you take advantage of those if you can. And until then, I'm Craig. This is The Flex. Check us out on YouTube, Gym Bag Entertainment. And until then, I'll see you next week. Have a good night.